Baseball season's here. I think everyone should know that. How are your cans?
Oh, yeah, sorry.
Put those cans
How
on.
are your cans?
We're all right.
Your nice cans.
Cans.
We're recording.
Oh. Yay.
How's everyone doing?
We all arrived safely.
We missed a week.
We're back and
There
better than ever.
There was a chicken party.
I don't know what that is.
Anyway.
What that means.
Is that like a chicken run?
Yeah, it was a chicken party last week. But we want to talk about anything before we kick this thing off, or
Yeah, talk about how science is trying to prove that there could be parallel universes.
sure, trying to prove that there could be. They've
Just
already
now.
quantum physics
That's
proved
what they're up to today?
theoretically that there could be parallel universes already. So, and let's not forget this now. Everyone's talking about wormholes and stuff, which is an Einstein-Rosen bridge. That's theoretical, by the way. We have no evidence of wormholes.
Yeah.
So, despite what Gravity, the movie Gravity, teaches you. Is that what it was called? No, Gravity was the good one. What was the one with
Interstellar?
Interstellar? Yeah. What a piece of junk that movie
They
was.
kicked the tires on the old Hadron Collider there.
Yeah, they did.
That's a scary device.
Yeah. Well, they there was a chance that it would end all existence.
Yeah, that was
Yeah.
Among the list of scary things, that's one
This
of
is
the
my
things on the list.
superconducting super collider, and I don't really care
Wasn't
what
that
happens.
the plot of that Dan Brown novel too? Wasn't that the backdrop?
Well,
that
you know,
CERN was
isn't
gonna
that-
start the
Yeah, but-
collider and
yeah.
that was gonna end?
But isn't that also what causes the Flash? Isn't it the super?
Oh yeah, it is. Yeah,
Star Labs.
Yeah, on the TV show.
Yeah.
No.
Oh, we got to talk about that too.
Oh, we will.
there's
That was
so
a good. That was
much.
a good episode.
Yeah. Well,
You want to kick it off?
Yeah,
Yeah,
let's
I
kick.
do, but before, I want to just say that. Let me just say this before we get into this, and this is a serious note, okay?
Yeah.
This is for everyone.
All right.
Yeah.
Get your family, huddle close.
Get close.
Okay.
Get the kids in from outside where
The
they're playing.
fact that we know that there is a Hadron Collider is scary enough as it is.
Yeah.
It's what we do not know that they have
Right.
is what's really scary.
I heard that Gygax, before he passed, was working on a polyhedron collider.
That's a dice.
Yeah, dice
emitter?
system. Yeah.
Where
Yeah.
they throw the dice at each other
Yeah.
really fast.
Yeah.
Just a
yeah.
thought.
Split
And,
the
and
dice,
there's a
they
chance
split
for a
the
crit.
dice from D20
Yeah.
to D10
Yeah.
and then into D5.
Well, if the angles hit.
yeah.
So.
It's all theoretical.
Yeah. Yeah. So
just wanted
that's
to-
that's a knot in the table. That's the wood. That's not a. Did you think that was a craisin? Were you gonna eat a delicious craisin? All right, why don't you kick this thing off, dude?
Hey, everyone, the OFTF. It's going to start now.
Konnichiwa. This is One for the Fans on the Fanbased Network. Tonight, your master of ceremonies, LTG, will titillate, delight, and tease. Our delightful host, Justin P-Train Peterson, might get stumped with a special Stump the P-Train segment. And the answer to our versus question, Magneto versus Graviton. It's a classic, but we have a new take on it. Well, maybe it's not new, but from my limited research, it is. I'm your producer, Justin Lane, and this is One for the Fans.
What's up, everyone?
Hey.
Hi.
This is One for the Fans, as you just heard. I'm LTG. Welcome. Next to me, to my right-handed side. If you were facing me, it would be your left. But
Okay.
if
Right.
I turn to
Yeah.
my right, I see
Um,
P-Train
This is
Peterson.
not a video podcast.
I see P-Train Peterson. How are
Yeah.
you, sir?
I'm doing well.
You're
He
looking
may
well.
he may get a new name tonight.
You're looking full in your beard.
Yeah, I haven't really been.
Oh, is it a play? Oh, I see what you're doing.
Yeah, it's
Playoff
for the
beard
playoffs,
time.
yeah.
I see. He's a Golden State Warriors fan, so he's very happy
Yeah,
for the
yeah.
first time in how long?
it's been a good year.
Since Spreewell, since the days
Yeah.
of Dunkyo.
And
Oh, come on.
I-
we were terrible then.
I love that team.
Yeah, yeah.
I'd
What
like
do you mean, Chris and Tim Burgers? Spreewell, what?
Yeah.
That was a
still-
great team.
Yeah,
They almost beat
But-
Phoenix. Too.
almost.
baseball season's here.
That's right.
That's right.
Sonny Gray almost threw a no-hitter the other day.
Yeah. Macy
Almost.
Gray?
Macy Gray.
Oh.
She's good.
gosh.
She was good in Spider-Man.
Crack power.
Yeah, so we- yeah.
Oh.
We have an A's fan. We have a Yankees fan.
No, we don't.
Let's do this.
I'm a New York Metropolitans fan.
I'm sorry. I didn't know there was a difference.
So
I don't know so
there is a difference.
So yeah.
Do you want to start with the news?
Sure
let's
thing.
get
And now P-Train with the news.
So the Flash Arrow spinoff is in the midst of casting, and we know 2 big roles that they have cast so far. They've cast Hawkgirl, and they've cast Rip Hunter. So obviously from those archetypes we were talking about a couple weeks ago, remember when the casting notices went out?
The Traveler is Hunter.
The Traveler is Rip Hunter, and the Warrior is Hawkgirl.
Shira.
No, it's the newer one.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Kira Saunders or something
Yeah,
like that.
yeah. And who did they cast? Do we know?
Yes, we do. Arthur Darvill from Doctor Who played Rory.
As Hawkgirl.
As Hawkgirl. He's Rip Hunter.
I'm sorry, I'm going to interrupt you here. Speaking of Hawk Girl, Hawkman, on Wednesday's Sidekick, we left out Hawkgirl and Hawkman.
For good reason.
But they're still master battle technicians.
Yeah.
Anyway, I'm sorry.
The most confusing continuity in, I think, either of those two.
Yeah,
respective
totally
universes.
muddled.
And then an actress named Ciara Renee is playing Hawkgirl.
Oh gosh, I loved her in. Never mind. I was going to make a triple X reference.
She's
it's a very corny name.
New actress. She's actually a Broadway actress who joins the ranks of Broadway actors that they have on both Flash and Arrow too. If you think about it, there are a lot of those actors, including Jesse L. Martin, have started out on Broadway.
Tommy Toon.
Yeah, Tommy Toon.
Tommy Toon is Diggle.
He plays. He plays Solomon Grundy.
Yeah. Oh, Grundy.
Yeah, Arthur Darvill, for those who don't know, though, is he played a fan favorite character on Doctor Who.
Yes, he did.
Rory Williams, who was the husband of Amy Pond.
Yep. Great character.
Great character. And he was also on Broadchurch, the English equivalent of
the current thing, which
Grace
is
Point.
Grace Point.
Yeah.
Broadpoint. Grace Church.
Grace Church. So he's a cool actor. He's got a lot of nerd cred. And I'm excited about Rip Hunter too, because that means to me that they're going to be going full on time travel towards the end of this Flash season.
So if you want to get confused, tune into Flash, because there's no way to confuse the fans more than with time travel.
But if you want to be safe, come here.
Though I will say once again, and I know we've talked about this, when Cisco is explaining time travel to Joe, it was so well done.
Awesome,
Back to the Future, Terminator. It was so good. So,
and then there was a animated Batman movie that was announced. That's a little interesting because it's going to be Batman 66, and Adam West and Burt Ward will be returning to voice the characters.
Yeah, which is very cool.
That's
Like
kind
a
of
retro
cool.
Batman.
Yeah, it'll be a
yeah,
retro cartoon.
I'm very, very excited
Cool.
about that. Yeah, I think that's going to be very
all
cool.
Campy and
And Adam West has been doing amazing voiceover work on
Family
Guy
for
forever,
years,
and he's just so good and just brilliant. I actually went hiking recently by the Bat Cave in Griffith Park. I don't know if you guys know that, but in Griffith Park in Los Angeles, there is the actual entrance to the Bat Cave, which you can walk right up
I did
to.
hear about
that they use in like the Burton movie.
In the original.
in the
66
original.
Yeah, the old show.
Or
Yeah.
the old show,
So
right.
yeah, and it's very cool. You can go up there and you see it. And the thing that's depressing about it is, and I don't mean to be crude, this is actually true, but there's like condoms and needles all over the place. It's very messed up.
Fucking in the Bat Cave.
Yeah, well, that's why I go.
the family show.
Whoa! We'll bleep it out later.
No, we won't.
No, we won't.
What was that?
It's a family show again.
It's a family show. This is high quality entertainment.
It is.
Highbrow.
Yeah,
Highbrow
no,
stuff.
that's
what we
cool.
specialize in.
Not
That's
low in
You're
brow.
on one for the fans.
And can I throw some news in there?
Sure.
I don't know if any of you guys caught it earlier this week, but I was up, early on Tuesday to watch Good Morning America because there had been teased this major announcement regarding Robert Downey Jr. and the Avengers, and man, was it worth my time because they're going to be on Good Morning America.
That's
Actually, they
sick.
may have already been. I was so annoyed that was the announcement. Yeah. So anybody who didn't follow up on that, that's what the announcement was, and there you go.
Well,
That's
the,
one of
the
those-
media for Avengers is rolling out. Age of Ultron.
That's true. That is true. That's one of those moments where you want to get like an old VHS tape for like a museum.
Yeah. For the archives.
Program it, spend like 20 minutes programming it to record a 5-minute segment.
Yeah. They're going to be on the show. Yeah. Now another word from Disney. So, yeah, that's what it was. And it was obviously just ABC being Disney. Yeah. So, what was that?
Dual.
Archie.
Any more news?
Yeah.
A little bit of sad news and strange. The last podcast we were talking about Lobo, and the co-creator of Lobo, Roger Slifer, passed away last week. He was actually in a hit-and-run collision. He was 60 years old. And, so...
Yeah, very, very sad.
Sad.
Just co-created Lobo with Keith Giffen, right? And very, very sad. So March 30th, 2015, 60 years old. Very, very sad.
Since we're talking about deaths.
Oh, boy.
Oh, no.
Fast and the Furious concluded.
Oh, that's right.
They're 1 through 7. Now,
Furious 7.
They made a buttload of money, so
they
they're
did.
not going to end this thing.
No.
It's obviously going to change. Maybe The Rock will spearhead the next wave of them.
Can you smell?
I don't know. But
the people's eyebrow.
The big thing here was the goodbye to Paul Walker, who didn't pass away recently. It was, a year ago he passed away? But I hear from people who've seen it that was a very touching... I guess the movie was kind of changed to a farewell to him. I heard it was really well done if you're a Fast and Furious fan.
Those movies are entertaining.
It is. And can I talk to you for a minute about this?
Never seen one of them.
That's fine.
Yeah, I don't know if you would enjoy that.
These movies are very interesting because I've never seen a series jump around as much as they did.
Oh, you mean like the
jump
the
around.
Thing about Tokyo Drift, how it takes
jump
place
around,
after
jump up, and get down.
Yeah, you have the first movie, which is fine. It opens the whole world of cars and racing and criminals and
It's kind of like
really
Point Break with cars instead of
exactly. And then 2 comes out. The story's gone, totally different. Paul Walker takes off to Miami.
Yep.
And he's a police officer again. Or him to work. And you're like,
it's kind of a straight up sequel, though.
Right. You start to think, it had, because they do still mention some stuff, but it takes on a life of its own.
Yeah.
And you start to think, okay, I think I kind of see what they may do here. They might just do these individual takes. And then 3 comes, and nobody's involved.
Yeah.
Not Paul Walker, not Vin Diesel, nobody.
Vin Diesel makes a cameo at the very end.
But this is what my point is.
Yeah.
And then we're introduced to a character that isn't introduced until 4.
Yeah. And it's actually events are
5. He's not introduced till 5.
Yeah, and the events are in Tokyo Drift are taking place after the events of all of these movies that have come out since.
Yes,
it's very strange.
So when you get to Tokyo Drift, you're like, okay, now I know what they're doing. Each one's just going to be different.
Yeah, because that character dies in the 3rd one. In Tokyo Drift.
He dies in Tokyo Drift. You have no idea who he is.
Yeah.
And I remember when I first
and then he
watched
comes
them,
back in in 5. Yeah.
And I looked at the actor and I go, he looks just, because I watched them all in a row. And I said, he looks just like the guy in 3, not to be racist or anything.
No.
But he...
Because he is.
And then I looked at the cast and was like, did they just use the actor twice?
Yeah, no. Those events are taking place before the events of Tokyo Drift.
So you're like, is that a mistake? Was that planned?
It's a strange continuity.
So
and then, when Vin Diesel shows up at the end of the movie.
So that's the end of the whole franchise they just showed you in the 3rd installment.
Yeah.
Because we assume that everything's resolved at that point. Yeah. He's come, he's avenged his friend's death, who we learn is Statham. We learned he's the one that hits the car in 3.
Oh.
Because that's how he dies. The car
interesting. It's all coming together.
Right.
Well, all right.
And so we figure all that out, and then that's it. So now my question is, now that it's over, is the kid from 3 going to spearhead the new wave of... Because that's how they seem. They said way back then, but he's not going to look like that anymore.
I don't know. He's, No, I don't think anyone liked that character that much, really, either. So, I don't know. I think we've talked about it.
Anyway, it's a very interesting series, but it ended, and you brought up the death, so I said I hear it's very touching.
And
I know there's a lot of fans for this.
News-wise, I just had up on the monitor for you guys to see. Have you guys watched this Audi Avengers commercial?
No.
Where it's an Audi commercial where they compare all the different qualities of the new Audi to the Avengers. And the only reason it's worth watching is there is a lot of there's a lot of power stunts that you see for the first time. Scarlet Witch using her powers and things like that. So
that's a clever
people
way.
should check it out. Yeah. So there you go.
Some big shows coming. Groot's not one of them. He's not one of
Sorry, you guys mentioned Vin Diesel, and I wanted to show his depth. So
Daredevil's coming. We talked about that. Game of Thrones is coming. And when Game of Thrones comes out and the first episode comes out, we'll spend a lot of the time just saying welcome back. I know you're not a fan, but...
I'm not a fan of the show.
Yeah.
So.
Also, there was a big review for Daredevil from the Forbes magazine.
Mm-hmm.
And
Did he make the 500?
No. Some of the quotes from the review were, after attending the premiere, they said the reaction was far better than what was hoped from the producers and directors. They said there was frequent applause throughout people, so the fan base was clearly excited and pumped up about it. It wasn't like a bunch of crickets. The scenes were coming.
And that will be airing this week.
Yeah.
Man.
And they said, the guy went on to say the episodes play together like mini movies that you could easily put together
As like a big
and
long...
just make a good solid movie or a series of movies.
Yeah, a huge long...
He said the interviewer was also a DC fan as well as a Marvel fan. He said this could be the project that wins over even the hardest DC fanboy. Basically, because if you like and enjoy Flash and Arrow series, you'll really enjoy it.
Oh, yeah. I can see that.
There's a new Daredevil ad. You guys heard me complain about the Daredevil ad. That was just like a non-ad. But in news, this is news, there's a new Daredevil ad. And you guys, I know you guys think that I'm Mr. Negative. I'm extremely excited. This show drops the day before my birthday, which is actually my birthday is tomorrow. The show drops today. We haven't watched it.
Do you want to have a sidekick about that?
Well, no, this should be my birthday show.
Sidekick
This is an Easter Justin Lane birthday Daredevil drops today show. Actually, people should. This is Friday. People, this is the day it drops, the 10th. So, but I'm very excited about Daredevil. But in the new ad, I was extremely upset because there is a moment where the woman says something to the effect of, "How can a blind man change the city?" or something like that. I can't remember what the line is. Daredevil's response as Matt Murdock is, "There's more than one way to see."
He doesn't sound
And now
like
we're
that.
even close.
And
sound
hello,
anything
governor. Hello, governor.
Justin is playing the fact that Charlie Cox is British.
And his accent leaks through in this ad, and I really wish they had done a better job of editing that out.
Of course, you may be the only person that hears these things.
I was watching it.
Seen them
I
all,
was watching
heard
it.
them all.
I will show it to you.
I know
and
exactly what
I
you're talking
went, what was that?
I-
And I rewound.
I listened to all 5 spots.
Also, here in LA, there are tons of Daredevil ads all over the place at bus stops and things like this, and I keep thinking it's Daniel Radcliffe.
Really?
Have you noticed he looks like
kinda
Daniel
does a little
Radcliffe
bit.
in those ads?
He's like a larger...
Yeah, I think the round
Daniel
glasses are
Radcliffe.
making
that's
it. Yeah,
too, maybe that.
but and does that bother you that he's glomming on your style?
He's coming into my...
Yeah, that's as the
edging
boy who
into my
lived.
territory.
He finishes up by saying it's some of the best fight scenes that he's seen in terms of the choreography.
That's nice.
And that's what me and you were talking about. We were all talking about, like, the fight choreography has to be
Yeah.
top-notch.
I think the production value, too, it just looks...
Yeah,
it looks
he
like
says the
it's-
writing, the production, it all just blends together. And
Well, I'm excited. I can't wait to watch it.
It is it's what Nolan tried to capture with the Dark Knight, but it has just more brutal, and it's just overall a stunning visceral impact when it's all put together. So,
It's a good start for...
and it's good
For
because the
these-
guy was a Marvel and a
Yeah.
DC fan equally, so it wasn't like he was just out for Marvel. So it was very high praise.
High praise indeed.
So we're all excited here, and we hope you are too. Anything else?
They announced a title for Tron 3. If anyone really cares about that.
Did we? No, we may have. We did. I don't think we mentioned that Benedict Cumberbatch is going to be Strange.
Oh,
for sure.
we've mentioned that several times.
I knew we talked about
on the
who we
podcast.
thought. And
We
was
talked
gonna
about
go,
it, I
but
think,
don't-
before it was made 100%.
No,
Yeah.
I mentioned it.
Okay,
I
then never mind
remember
what I just said.
mentioned it.
I mind wipe the audience.
So what's the title for Tron 3?
The dude. What's it? The dude figures out.
Ascension.
Oh, well, that is
Yeah,
newsworthy.
that's
There you go.
So I think it's more interesting just that the movie is actually
Gonna get made?
happening. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because
Could-
the second one was.
Are they going to Orville Dedenbacher the Tron?
Lukewarm reception. I'm a big Tron fan though. I loved that movie growing up, and I actually like the second one too.
Yeah.
It was a great video game.
It was,
The
yeah.
arcade, the standard arcades.
Yeah.
Do you have maybe a P train of thought about Tron?
About Tron?
Not necessarily about Tron. I do have a thing. I wanted to mention. We haven't talked about on the cast. Kingsman: The Secret Service yet.
So this is your P train of thought?
Yes.
Oh, okay, cool. Let's hear it.
Have you guys seen it or?
I have it on my
Wanted
queue.
to.
And
I
then
haven't seen it. I'd like
Yeah.
to see it.
Oh, Kingsman is great. Yeah, I
Oh.
recommend people see. I was very pleasantly surprised when I saw it in theaters. It's I'm sure it's coming out soon on video.
What was that?
I don't know.
It's my P train.
Oh.
Yeah, but just a really fun action movie. Just well put together all the way around. The performances are great. The set pieces and the fighting choreography is just it's really 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 good.
Okay, cool.
And yeah,
Would it be safe to say it's like Teen Titans, but for James Bond universe?
it's nothing like Teen Titans. I mean, it kind of is.
But you know what I mean.
It's
It's
more
more
like
like-
Bulletproof
yeah.
Monk.
They're like mini Bonds. It's
Yeah, and it has
a
it very
junior
much
Bond
feels at
organization.
times like the scenes in First Class where
Mhm.
they're training
Fuzzy
the
Beast.
mutants outside Xavier's mansion
Okay.
and stuff like that. It feels like that a lot of times. It's the same director, Matthew Vaughn.
There's that weird scene. There's a weird scene in First Class where like he teaches Beast to use speed,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Not the drug. I mean his own speed. But like I don't really think of Beast as super fast. I mean I know he is fast, but I don't think of him like that being his thing. And it always kind of reminded me of that scene in Highlander, which always made me uncomfortable. You know which one on the beach?
Yeah.
Feel the stag.
Yeah.
Feel its blood coursing through you. I never liked that scene. It always made me uncomfortable.
Yeah.
So all right. So Kingsman.
Yeah.
Kingsman.
Check that out.
Kingsman.
Check
Are
it
you?
out.
Would you say that you are a Kingsman?
I'm a Kingsman.
A
man.
Kingsman man?
A Kingsman man. Yes.
Nice. Very nice. What about the shows? Did everyone enjoy the shows?
I thought this was a solid week. I really enjoyed The Flash. I thought that was
Of course, every
one
week.
of the best episodes so far. I mean, I say that a lot about The Flash. I think it's just impressive that in season 1 it keeps upping itself, and it doesn't seem to be gun shy, or afraid to, like I said the other day, not to telegraph the pun, but it hits the ground running, and it's been
Wah, wah.
it's been probably the best comic book TV show on all season so far.
Yeah, without a doubt.
I still like S.H.I.E.L.D.
Maybe the best ever that I've seen.
It's great. No, Flash is amazing.
Yeah.
And I'm a big Marvel fan, so.
So yeah, why don't we start off talking about Flash?
All
and
right,
the
let's
events
talk about it.
of this week.
So let's see. Let's bring it up. We're not going to talk about. Actually, there was no Flash this week.
Oh yeah.
Right. So, we're
last
good.
week.
So there's not going to be any spoilers
Yeah.
for people who have DVR'd it. Pretty crazy.
Yeah.
What was the thing? I don't know this. You might know this. Is there a precedent or an analog in the comics for the
Sorry, the Warriors.
I thought you had some sort of fit or something bit you. Was there an analog or a precedent for the device that Eobard Thawne uses?
I don't know,
to
but
it reminded me of Invasion of the Body Snatchers a little bit.
it's also like the thing on Fringe that the
Yeah.
shapeshifters used.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow, Fringeman.
Got another Fringe
yeah.
reference.
They're a
worked
Fringeman.
in.
Very cool.
But it makes I love that moment because it made everything makes more sense.
Right.
That Harrison Wells was actually like
Was a great man.
was a good man
Yeah.
and is kind of we haven't ever seen him until this episode
Mhm.
essentially. And me and Justin and I were talking that with the inevitable time travel nonsense
Yeah.
that is going to come towards the end of this season, there's going to probably be a reset and Tom Cavanaugh is going to get the chance to come back
As
and
Harrison
play
Wells.
the actual Harrison Wells.
Yeah, I see that.
Yeah.
Totally.
And then
He's been too good also.
Reverse Flash
He's amazing.
is going to go back to this actor that we saw for the first
Yeah.
time in this episode.
Yeah.
Eobard Thawne.
Now,
is gonna
that
be
was
playing-
not Dave Coulier from Full House.
No,
No,
Okay.
no.
He hasn't worked in a long time.
Oh,
I've seen that actor
He was on
in
the
stuff
roast.
before, but I don't know who he is.
okay.
But he was great.
Yeah.
And I really liked that because of the formatting of the show, that's the first time we ever saw the real villain
Yep.
of the season.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it just it also, I mean, with the previews that they've been releasing, for instance, like I know LTG doesn't watch these on TV; he streams them, so you don't get to see all like the next week
Right.
previews and stuff like that. They're building up to so much amazing stuff on these
Big
previews,
Arrow Flash crossover.
and including Ray and Adam. I mean, and,
Yeah.
Hot
but
Girl,
the other
Grodd.
thing, the other thing is the Grodd thing. I think they're saving Grodd
Of course.
for next season.
He's major.
He and the General
Island.
are popping.
Yeah.
General Wade Island have popped up in those previews.
Yeah. Oh gosh, it makes me
Also,
so
I want,
happy.
since we're talking about Flash, which is great, and in terms of comic book nerdiness, outside of maybe the Absorbing Man, and I even really enjoyed Quake in Marvel's Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. when she finally became an Inhuman.
Daisy?
They just shot that really beautiful.
Oh,
I thought
yeah,
it was amazing.
yeah.
But this sequence with Flash fighting Reverse
Oh,
Flash
when we go
around
back to the
himself and
first
his
scene.
mom
Yeah.
was hands down
Yeah.
the coolest comic book
Yeah, that was beautiful.
type scene I've seen.
That was
on
really
TV.
beautiful.
Yeah,
then
it
he
was- it was.
tripped for no reason.
And I like when you yeah.
That was weird.
He's
I
been
like-
doing that.
Like when they went back to real time too, and you
Yeah.
saw it from the mom's perspective,
Oh,
and it was back
so
to
fantastic.
the
I
blurs.
mean,
Yeah.
that's just. I love when they are able to bring the comic book like to life,
Mm-hmm.
and it's like it jumps right out of the pages.
yeah,
It matches the movies. Like it's what the Avengers did. Like that whole Manhattan sequence, how it was just a comic panel.
Yeah,
And
that
that's
was
what-
brilliant.
The fact that
And
they're catching
frankly,
it on TV
the first
is incredible.
the fact the first Raimi Spider-Man did that
Yeah.
too.
And-
It was like panels.
and that's why we're getting excited for Daredevil because that's what it sounds like.
Yeah,
They're going to really go for it, and it's going to be
yeah.
bar none. But back to the
yeah. We
show.
can't talk about Flash, last week's episode of Flash, without talking about Mark Hamill.
Yes,
and him reprising
He's
his
awesome.
role as the trickster, which
I
he played.
felt they didn't do enough with him.
Yeah,
I wanted more Mark Hamill.
Yeah, I mean, he was just so good,
And he was doing
just
the
so
Joker
good.
voice.
He was doing the Joker voice.
Yes.
but that and he's played the trickster now on the 1989 TV show,
Right.
And he also played the trickster on
Justice League Unlimited.
Yeah, and he's now playing the trickster again. He's just a fantastic actor.
Yeah.
And it just looked so much fun.
Yeah.
Did you love the fact that they flat out spoofed Silence of the Lambs too?
Yeah, and they also
I can
they
smell.
Also,
A few things in
I
it.
can
Yeah,
smell
they did the
it
Empire
in your
Strikes Back.
pocket.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
so great.
Oh, and but were you surprised that it wasn't "I am your father"? Just kidding, tricked you. you know.
Yeah.
But I can smell your blank line from Silence of the Lambs.
Yeah.
Instead, it was Twizzlers in the pocket. I mean, just very good,
Yeah.
very very good
The writers
stuff.
clearly had fun
And
Yeah.
and collaborated with
both
them.
of those versions are the actual comic book. There are two tricksters in the comic
Yeah.
books,
Yeah.
and those are the actual
Mhm.
James
And-
Jesse
And to continue on with the acting, we've all acted at this table here.
Yep.
Mark Hamill has come a long way since the
Since
Star
he
Wars
wanted to go to
trilogies.
Tashi Station to pick up some
Yeah.
power converters.
He's
Since
grown
Corvette
into
Summer?
a quality actor. And
Sure.
to watch him at his height, which to me is like from all his experiences, he had the ability to do overacting within the confines of the character
Yeah.
itself.
Mhm.
When he
and still have
a lot,
yeah.
a lot of actors could easily have overacted this because you kind of have to.
Yeah.
But the way he subtly
Yeah,
did
he
it,
had so much subtlety.
and the power and the emotion, the way he toyed with the people on the other side of the glass, it was fantastic to see him. For some of us who grew up with Mark Hamill as Luke Skywalker to this, it's like
Yeah.
that's incredible, and hats off to him
Yeah.
Yeah.
for staying relevant, for doing these amazing voiceover works, and then just treating us with that,
Yeah. No, he's
which is one of the best moments so far.
he's
on
great.
Flash.
He's great.
Yeah, I really hope he comes back.
I do too.
I mean,
He
kinda
he
have
will.
to.
He wants to.
Yeah, he's. I mean,
He's a
the
comic
Trickster
book
is-
nerd,
yeah.
by the way. Mark
Of
Hamill.
course.
He is.
And the
big
Trickster
time.
TV's
is one
Joker.
of the big rogues too.
Yeah.
Yeah, for people who don't know, he was the voice of the Joker on the Batman animated series.
And
for
in
a
Justice
number of years.
League and
Yeah.
Justice League Unlimited.
Fantastic.
Yeah. And some of the video games as well.
Yep. I believe he did the Joker in Arkham Asylum.
Did
Yeah,
he?
I think
Yeah.
he did.
I don't remember
Yeah.
seeing his name on the credits.
Yeah,
after I
I'm pretty
beat it.
sure he did the Joker in
Oh.
Arkham Asylum. What?
I don't remember seeing his name on the credits when I beat it.
Oh,
Oh!
A couple weeks ago.
Why are you? We beat that like years ago.
Enough.
You know, I usually save this for P-Train, but when you told me about how your Mass Effect 2 run ended, I've got to say,
The test is over, Firestar, and you failed.
I'm not a min-maxer, bro.
you will never know
I don't care.
the arc of Thane Krios.
My job is to save the universe.
Uh-huh.
Okay? That's what
Well, you ain't going to be able to now with what you did. Noob. What are you, greenhorn? With your phone not on silent. I think mine's not on silent either, but that's all
I'm a green nerd.
right.
Nerd noob.
So, okay, so next show. Or are we done with Flash?
And speaking of video games, next to FTF, we're going to be bringing that back with a special guest. So we're
And
gonna,
cool, right?
Yeah, we're going to skip that this week.
Way, Arrow.
Arrow.
Yep.
Wow, dude.
Yeah, that was verbal, not internal.
Yeah, it was all right.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I'm getting really tired of the characters on that show.
Really?
Oh yeah, Laura Lance. I'm just.
Felicity stopped being annoying.
Yeah, she was all right.
She's
in this
fine.
episode.
She's able to blend in.
Yeah, she's back to being Felicity.
Yeah.
But the Thea
Who really just kind of seems to disappear.
her character
in most of
sexual acting is terrible, and
Well,
her
she's going to be Speedy. I mean, we
Laura
know
Lance
that.
is so bad.
Didn't you expect it to be Malcolm Merlin was going to turn himself in as the Arrow?
Oh yeah,
That's what I thought was going to happen.
Awesome.
That's what I thought was going to
That
happen
would-
because they
yeah.
showed him watching the news.
Yeah.
And I thought that's what he was going to do for Thea to kind of.
That would have been amazing.
Yeah, but no, they didn't do that. Instead, they did Roy
They
Harper.
get Roy. Yeah.
He's good.
Let's
Well,
let
you
Roy.
know-
Let's let Roy shine.
And it's like, let's put Thea and Roy back together, but then he does this sacrifice and they're separated again. That's what that was.
I
So.
care.
It's so contrived.
I care.
I don't. Yeah, I don't.
Those
I
are
like
just
it.
big time
I still
pictures.
like it. Come on, I like it. It's still
I'll
good.
keep.
Alright.
It's
alright.
enough to watch.
Why does
It
Brandon
just
Ralph
seems to be muddled.
always have one bloodshot eye?
I don't know. I actually Googled that because I
Okay.
was trying to.
Did he have a
It's been
stroke?
bothering me.
Well,
It's been happening for like 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Now. Maybe
It's the
they
build-up.
shot it all at one
Yeah.
It's
time.
the buildup of the heat vision because he's turning
yeah.
angry.
Oh,
Yeah.
oh.
No.
Maybe he's the new Deathstroke.
Because he was the worst.
I mean, not or Deadshot.
Yeah.
He was a terrible Superman, but he's awesome as the Atom.
Yeah, he is great.
Yeah,
found
he
his
probably just
superhero.
had conjunctivitis.
Yeah.
And they
But
probably just shot it.
I'm
at
so
the
happy
same
that
time.
you noticed that because it's
Yeah,
been
yeah.
bothering me for
But
2 weeks.
he's great, and so that's what keeps me in it. Is
Yeah.
knowing he's
Yeah,
in it.
I really-
and the
I
fact
really
that
like
they're
the Ray
tied to the
Palmer
Flash universe
storyline.
is what keeps me.
Yeah,
in it.
yeah, exactly. It's really just riding Flash's coattails at this point.
Because
Yeah.
when they do team up, it's really entertaining.
Well, if you had seen, and I guess you haven't seen, but
Preview.
the new
I'm
preview
excited.
is everybody from Flash, Firestorm, Ray. Ray. I keep calling Ray Ray Palmer.
He is.
The
Firestorm, the Atom, Green Arrow, the Hood, Flash, Black Canary.
Oh man! She's gonna be good
but
because she'll have a stick.
Everybody
So terrible.
everybody is going to throw down in what's coming. And I wonder if, maybe
There's a big spoiler.
Maybe that's
too.
Grodd.
There's a big spoiler because Oliver is wearing a League of Assassins uniform
Yeah.
in the preview.
Oh, he's going to get,
Yeah.
that's how he's going to get Ray out of it.
Yeah.
Well, they're gonna have Laurel Lance with them, so
Roy, not Ray. Damn, Jesus.
Grodd
Roy, Ray.
Grodd better be careful. He's gonna
No,
get
Ray.
he's gonna get
Wrong.
smarted with a nightstick.
Grodd.
No, that's very cool. I'm very excited for that. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Also, really quickly here, how Adam cured himself when she had
Yeah,
had
the
Felicity.
nanotech.
And by the way, that's what's going to interface
Yeah,
with his
with
suit
his
and
Yeah,
cause
suit,
him to
so
and
shrink.
that's
That
what
he
I
can
was thinking.
shrink.
I thought, here it comes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because I was getting a
Yeah.
little scared with the
That he
whole
was,
Iron
yeah, it was
Man
just going to
suit.
be a power suit.
Yeah. Yeah, which you can throw a flechette at and ruin.
yeah.
Yeah. No, I mean, listen. This is the way I look at Arrow. Arrow is just building towards something right now.
Yeah.
Arrow it has found
It's kinda
itself
coasting.
in that place that S.H.I.E.L.D. was in for a while, where it was building up. And remember, all of a sudden, S.H.I.E.L.D. just exploded, and you were like, "Wow!"
But
I think that's what's happening with Arrow. But they've got to do something about Black Canary, and they've got to do something about Speedy. And I don't mind Red Arrow right now, Arsenal. I don't mind him.
Yeah, except for Arrow stormed out of the gates with season 1 and 2.
Oh, of course, because he was killing people.
But whereas S.H.I.E.L.D. didn't.
Yeah. Well, I always liked S.H.I.E.L.D. I never had an issue with S.H.I.E.L.D.
It was a little rough in the beginning for me.
Yeah.
Until I started to see what they were doing and then
Well, that's what I'm saying. I think that we should start expecting that to be... I think Arrow's there to tee up the ball for Flash.
Oh, I love Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. It was just... But when
coasting.
it finally turned for me, and I guess we're going to segue into Marvel's Agents
Yes,
of
we
S.H.I.E.L.D.
are.
When it was revealed that it was Deathlock, I was like, okay, I'm in.
Okay.
This is really cool.
Okay.
Because I like Deathlock and not the fact that
And you thought it had been Luke Cage the whole time.
I didn't really know. I was hoping I would have been okay with it, but I was scared they were going to make some new guy for TV.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, oh, is this how it's going to go? It's going to be like Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. and they're going to be creating like super... You know what I mean?
Yeah, I know.
Because no one knew who he was. And that's what started us all on this quest to like, who's he going to be? So when he was revealed as Deathlock, that was like, okay, I'm in.
Mm-hmm.
So shall we talk about Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.?
Sure. This was a fun episode. Flashback to...
You just became Canadian. That was amazing.
Flashback.
It was a fun episode.
It's a good episode, eh?
My mom is Canadian.
Oh, is she?
I know she is.
Well, there you go.
Born in Lake Tahoe.
Thank you. I don't... Yeah, anyway.
A Muggle tourist place.
So, yeah, it was a flashback episode.
No, he was born in Godric, Tahoe.
To the day that S.H.I.E.L.D. fell, is what the Chiron said. So that this was... The flashbacks were taking place concurrently with Captain America the Winter Soldier.
Yes.
And
that's how it started.
Yeah.
It was like the fall of the...
and we got to see the kind of genesis of what is being called the real S.H.I.E.L.D. on the show. How Bobby and Mac and
Adama.
Yeah. What did you call him? Fury Con Queso?
Yeah. Hey.
No.
Fury Con Queso.
Yeah.
I just meant because he's cheesy.
Yeah.
And I love Edward James
He's
Olmos.
really good.
Great actor. I've loved him ever since his early days on Miami Vice, where he was the inexplicably was a Japanese gangster who was played by a Mexican American.
Sure.
Yeah, I don't know if you remember that. He had
no.
like ties to the Yakuza on Miami Vice. Anyway.
So, yeah, it showed us the story of how Bobby and Mac came to ally with him. He was the commander of a helicarrier named the Iliad that had some vaguely referenced...
It wasn't a helicarrier. It was a
just a
regular aircraft carrier.
Yeah.
The Iliad is a helicarrier, though. One of the main ones.
Oh.
That's usually the ones in Fury.
In the comics?
Yeah.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. I think in the MCU they only have one helicarrier.
Yeah.
Maybe I'm wrong.
Maybe, yeah. I don't know.
Doesn't matter.
No.
And... yeah.
Jesus.
So...
Stop with the...
So that wasn't me. So anyway. So he was the commander, and Bobby talks him out of completing a mission.
To destroy...
after everybody talks her out. Yeah, after everyone else. And they never... Did it bother you they didn't use the word scuttle?
Yeah.
I was like, come on, they would say scuttle.
Yeah.
I've got to self-destruct the ship.
Yeah.
No, that's not what it's called. You don't self-destruct a ship.
Yeah. But there was also a reference to whatever the cargo they were carrying was too important for them to let Hydra get possession of it. So we still don't know what was actually on the ship.
I wonder what that was.
Yeah.
What could it be? Just weapons, or is it supposed to be...
Yeah, maybe. I don't know.
It'll be nothing that
Technology,
simple.
yeah.
No, it'll be something cool.
Yeah.
You always have a little...
There was a big thing about Chitauri tech and Asgardian tech, and they've kind of let that drop.
Yeah.
Because
It seems like they, even in this episode, were implementing the dendrotoxin gas and stuff like that too. So they obviously have, access to that type of stuff. Maybe that's what it is. Maybe it's the reservoir of all the tech.
A cool moment was when Skye was held in the cabin.
That Banner built, the house that Banner built.
She uncovers the giant fist mark. That was really cool.
I liked the stuff with Gordon too.
Oh yeah. He was really cool.
Oh yeah. Oh, sorry, I was thinking about Gotham when you said that. And I was like, what? Okay, so the thing with Gordon bothers me is the makeup. It looks sometimes like they've just blurred, and it's very distracting. But it's a cool character. I like what they did. I like that she used her powers and went with him.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You noticed, of course, that the guy from Fringe, I can't remember the actor's name.
Kirk Acevedo.
Yeah, okay. So he shot to kill. You noticed that,
yeah,
right?
and they made an insert shot of him when she says "Icers only."
Yeah, and he's
then
got
he
a regular
cocks
gun.
His regular
Yeah,
gun.
yeah.
It's like, hey, you dick! Like we told you Icers.
So do you think what they're doing is they're building up to this is the
anti-powers?
Yes.
I also
this
think
is the Trask or the Trask substitute in a world without mutants.
I also think this may be the first beginnings of Civil War as well.
I do too.
And the threat of Age of Ultron too.
Yeah.
Like
It's
the
all gonna
index
combine.
and all of that stuff is probably the index is.
You know what might be on that ship
breadcrumb
is
people.
the Ultron tech.
Yeah.
It might actually be the Ultron tech.
Ooh.
And as a side, how long before any of these
that would be
guys?
cool.
We know Clark Gregg, but how long before the rest of the team maybe show up in the movies?
I don't know.
Well, I think Sky has to.
Yeah,
I
at some point.
think Sky. I think
In Civil War,
Daisy
definitely.
has to show up. I think that there's no way. I think they're just hiding it from us, but she has to.
Hiding it.
I think.
No pun intended.
Oh, hi, with a Y, with a Y
See
even.
what we did. I see what
Zab,
did.
you go, Zabo. No, I think Clark Gregg needs to come back to the movies.
I'm
Yeah.
guaranteeing he's coming back. Can't prove it.
I think also now, so you're looking at the Splinter Shield group, and they're the anti-powers. They're the pure humanity strain.
They've already started to sink their claws into Simmons.
Simmons,
too.
yeah, and that's what I think that's headed. Right.
And that's why I say that the split is already.
One of them is Hydra. One of them is going to be Hydra.
Yeah.
It's going to be Weaver, the African American woman from the Academy, or somebody is going to be Hydra, or Acevedo.
But he's too obvious. I
Yeah.
mean, for this show loves to twist like that a lot.
Also, Edward James Olmos, I don't know if you read, we're good. Edward James Olmos did an interview where he talked about how wonderful his character he was playing was, and what a good guy he was, which seems like a little bit of smoke blowing. So, yeah. So, I don't know. We'll see what happens. Star Wars Rebels.
Yeah, we haven't had a opportunity
Inquisitor's
to really
dead.
talk about that. Yeah,
Inquisitor's dead.
the big Vader
did die.
reveal. Yeah.
Inquisitor's dead. You didn't know that yet?
Yeah, I knew.
Okay. And Vader revealed. So that's something to watch for. We haven't talked about it. We haven't given that show love. And the reason I bring it up, though, is will Mark Hamill voice Luke on Star Wars Rebels?
I don't know.
Is he going to be in Star Wars Rebels?
He's got to be a kid. He's going to be a kid soon. I mean, they right?
It's coming. Yeah.
I wonder if they can modulate his voice to make him sound like a teenager.
Ahsoka Tano also appears.
Yes.
She,
Yeah,
was,
awesome.
she was Fulcrum.
Yep.
And she's all grows up.
Yep.
That was really cool. I mean, everyone had kind of theorized that Fulcrum was going to be Ahsoka, but to see her was great because it actually
Because we wanted
really
that in
ties.
the Clone Wars.
Yeah, it really
she's gonna be
ties
awesome
back
when
to
she
Clone
gets fully
Wars.
grown.
Now, do you guys realize that the way this show is headed, that that at least what's their names? Oh God, the two Jedi.
Oh yeah.
They're gonna die.
Yeah.
They have to die.
Yeah.
They have to
Before the events of
They have to die before
can
the
go
events of A New Hope.
They could go into exile.
No.
No, because then
They can't.
Because then Yoda
Why?
would just bring them out of exile when Luke.
Yeah, no, man. They
Yeah.
gotta die, and I think that's cool.
Or they could just give up the cause.
Or they get stilled, separate. What do you call that when you get separated from the Force? You get
Oh yeah.
distanced or something. Anyway, we'll see. But
I don't know. Yeah,
Kinda cool.
That is a good point.
Ezra Bridger, thank you.
Ezra,
Oh,
yeah.
that was driving me nuts. Yeah, cool.
Cade.
LTG,
Yes, sir.
was there something you wanted to get off your chest?
Get off my chest.
Yeah. Was there anything that was bothering you this week?
About the shows?
No, you had mentioned something to me about casting was bothering you.
Oh, okay. This is on. This is
What am I putting you on? Am I putting you on the spot here a little bit?
No, it's just changing gears really quickly for something totally different. No, if we go back to the beginning of the show, we're talking. This could speak to some of. Actually, what brought it up, and I just didn't say it at the time, was when you talked about the Kingsmen. And I talked about how are they just kind of like the junior Bond group, training them to be Bond. I was thinking about what's his name?
Idris Elba.
Idris Elba.
Heimdall.
They thought he would be a good guy to play James Bond.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember reading that and saying, why him to play James Bond and why not him to be a 007?
In other words, why is he the character of James Bond, who is established as a? Is your issue with it that he's African American?
It's not an
or not
issue.
African American. He's black, and that's why I hate the word African American, because he's British.
He's not American
because he's British.
But not to say, oh, he's a black guy. I don't want a black guy playing a white role.
Mm-hmm.
It's the fact that James Bond was created as a white Scottish.
Mm-hmm. Which I have a whole thing about.
If he wants to be 007, that's awesome.
Yeah.
But James Bond is James Bond.
Mm-hmm.
And it doesn't have to be black or white. With Native American or an Asian character or whatever. Like I said, if Ryan Reynolds becomes Black Panther, that's fine because that meant he beat the previous Black Panther and gained.
In other words, he can be Black Panther, but he can't be T'Challa.
But don't make him T'Challa,
right?
Because T'Challa that's who that character is.
Peter Parker, Miles Morales.
Yeah, which is the right way to handle it.
Instead, they didn't make him Peter Parker.
Right.
They made him his own character as a Spider-Man.
They didn't retcon Peter Parker as a Latino.
Right. Or Luke Cage. If they cast Vin Diesel as Luke Cage, no.
Right.
Luke Cage is Luke Cage. I want to see Luke Cage.
Right.
So I don't understand.
Well, I have two things to say about this, and it's interesting because on the James Bond tip, I'm a huge Bond fan. I actually read the Ian Fleming novels as a kid. Now, when Sean Connery, who's still the best Bond, and if you don't agree with me, you're wrong. When Sean Connery played Bond, the big criticism from people who had never read the books was that, but he has a Scottish accent. Well, let me give you some news, people. James Bond is Scottish. He's not English. He's Scottish, okay? And that always bothered me that people had that issue with it.
Right.
And not until Daniel Craig, who's not Scottish, did we get a Scottish James Bond, where it was established in Skyfall. It was finally established that he drinks Scotch and that he's Scottish.
So it's paying ode to the character.
To the character as Ian Fleming envisioned it. Now, all due respect, Ian Fleming wanted Cary Grant to play James Bond. But Cary Grant said, no one wants to see me leaping around at this age. Now, that being said, okay, so I agree with you. I love Idris Elba. I would love to see a different 007. James Bond gets killed.
And it's a perfect opportunity.
And you have a different 007. Because you're not working off Ian Fleming's original work anymore anyway.
Right.
Yeah.
Now, that being said, just so people understand that this is not like a white fear issue. The talk about casting James Franco as Kaneda in Akira is one of the most offensive things I have ever heard. At one time, it was going to be a Leonardo DiCaprio. Keanu Reeves. And Little Buddha was annoying enough there. But at no point have I heard any casting from an American version of this movie of a Japanese or even. I found it offensive that they got a Chinese actress for Memoirs of a Geisha.
Yeah.
Like, just get a Japanese actress. It really bothers me that they think that it's okay to cast a white man in the
role
of
Lone Ranger?
Yeah.
The Lone Ranger. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, that was a.
This is things we're talking about. I don't want to spend too much more time on this, but the Karate Kid, I won't even touch.
Oh yeah, when he's actually because they were going to call it the Kung Fu Kid,
right?
And then the marketing came in and was like, no, we need to have the branding.
Now I'm going to bring something up. Now you guys give me a hard time about my issue with Cox playing Daredevil.
I know.
He has an English accent. I can hear it. Just like I can hear Barbara Gordon's Welsh accent. And it drives me nuts, okay? Just like everyone was like, oh, Hugh Laurie, did you know he's not American? Yeah, I know he's not American because he never raises his voice.
Yeah.
Because he can't do an American accent if he raises his voice.
Christian Bale is Batman.
This all drives me nuts. And the fact is, you know how come they got Charlie Cox? Because they were like, oh, it's about Hell's Kitchen. Hell's Kitchen. Oh, Gordon Ramsay's Hell's Kitchen.
That's not true.
And that's why they cast
They
him.
did.
Yeah, that's where the accent came
silly.
in. So
No,
that's how it happened.
That was
that's
the
how it
logic
happened.
in the casting.
You have told me so many times that you love that Chris Evans did a Brooklyn accent for Captain America, and I
Yes, of
agree with
course.
you. So you don't find this even remotely offensive,
No. It's
you're
because
not
not
from New York.
everybody has an accent.
right?
And that's true. You know that because you're a New Yorkerman yourself, so
Yeah.
you can testify to that.
All right.
I like Chris Evans' choice to do it. It's
I
brilliant.
do too. But anyway, I agree with you on the Idris Elba thing. I love Idris Elba. He's an awesome actor. I had no problem with him as
Just
Heimdall.
make him a 007.
I had no problem with him as Heimdall.
Or 008. Aren't you supposed to go on or whatever?
008 was a villain.
yeah, that's
Oh, okay.
GoldenEye, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's Sean
Alec.
Bean.
You guys know your lore.
Yeah,
Alec Tremaine.
Sean Bean. That's
Scene Bean.
what's his name?
Stark.
Stark. Yeah.
Yeah.
Ned.
This is also
Eddard.
Boromir.
Yeah.
Bigger.
Yeah. He should have been Aragorn.
All right. So let's.
All right, so we've already touched on the previews. Is that right?
Yeah.
We're not going to
Yeah.
go into Game of Thrones, are we?
No,
No,
we're going
no,
to save
we'll do
that
that
for
next
when
week.
it comes out.
Yeah.
We'll talk
Okay.
about it then.
Okay.
We'll do some special
Well, then
stuff with
I think
that,
it's
'cause I know
time-
that's insanely popular. So
Then I think it might be time
I
for
enjoy it.
our game portion of the evening.
Oh boy.
It's time to
Always
stump.
my favorite.
I think it might be
Stizzump.
time to stizzump
All right, so
the
we're going to do something
pizzump.
special here. He's going to bring up a category, Justin, the
Yeah.
person right across from me. If
Yes.
you're looking...
Max
I'm
Mood,
looking,
you may
he's
call him.
across from me.
Yes.
Yeah.
And then Justin, who's next to me to my right, if you were looking at me, you'd be to your
Yeah,
left.
That's
Doesn't-
right.
doesn't
It
matter.
doesn't matter.
I'm going to bring up a category. You're going to get to choose what you feel is most comfortable that you think you can answer between the two. The prize is a blue artificial
a
colored
baby blue marshmallow.
which is a blessing and a curse because you have to eat it.
Yes,
on the mic.
and
You're going to enjoy it.
And
No,
if you do
you have
eat
to.
it,
I'm
you
not a
are
fan.
therefore then the peep train.
Yeah. Well, just
So-
a little for the fans. This
for
is
the
for
fa-
the
all right,
fans.
I'll do
He's
it for
going to
the
do that
fans.
for the fans,
I'll do it
folks,
for the
if he
fans.
gets it right.
Take one for the fans.
Would you like
Give
to
me the
present your category
categories.
first, or would you like me to present it first?
You present yours first.
My category is the world of Rurouni Kenshin.
Okay.
Justin?
Mine is we're going to take a little trip down to Poetry Corner and discuss. We're going to discuss comic book lore and how it relates to poetry, particularly the term alliteration, which is the repetition of sounds
Yeah.
in comic book names.
Oh boy.
We'll give you some time.
Mine's probably easier.
I was gonna go with that one.
So you want to take the hard. If you don't want to eat the peep, you should choose the hard one
Okay.
for the peep.
Okay.
But-
Jeez.
This is weird. He doesn't
weird.
want
I
the
don't
prize.
want
Yeah.
And he's not going to do it for the fans.
No, I'm gonna go with.
By the way, if he
I'll go
loses, he has to eat 2
I'll go with
peeps.
the poetry one.
Okay.
Yes, a
The
case
poetry one for the peep?
Yeah.
Okay, so then you give yours first, and then we'll build up to the peep. the
He's
peep.
doing, and fans, he's doing this for you.
Yes.
He doesn't like this. He's going to eat it
Yeah.
if he gets it right. Mine was, I'm surprised you didn't choose Rurouni Kenshin. I guess your knowledge is faded.
Yeah, I haven't watched it in years.
I was wrong. I'm wrong about him constantly with my questions.
He's enigmatic.
Okay. There were 13.
Also, he no longer speaks parcel tongue.
There were 13 masters of the Hitin Mitsurugi Ryu.
Yeah,
Who was the 14th master?
Gesundheit.
Yeah, I'm not gonna get this.
I am shocked right now.
Now everyone knows why I said Konnichiwa at the
Kenshin?
start of the show.
Here's an alternate. What was the name of Kenshin's master?
I can't remember.
Wow,
I
this
haven't watched
is
it
getting
in
itchy.
years.
My skin's starting to get itchy.
Well, I don't know.
Heiko
what to tell
Seijiro
you.
was the name master, but it's a trick question because that's the
The
mantle
test is
of
over,
the master.
Firestar, and you failed.
There's 13 Heiko Seijiros.
Mm-hmm.
That's the mantle given to the one who is the
Gesundheit.
master, and the student has to beat the master, usually resulting in the master's death.
Mm-hmm.
However, since you said Kenshin was your guess,
Yeah.
that is incorrect.
Oh.
Kenshin never accepted the mantle
Ah.
and never
So it's a
killed his
trick
master.
question.
So his master became the only one in history to be the 13th and 14th master of the Hiten Mitsurugi Ryu style. Okay. That's fine.
Very nice. Very, very
I'm
nice.
actually very stunned that you
I'm going to
those.
require your help on this. I'm going to need you to do a stopwatch for me if you can.
Okay.
And here we go. You are familiar with alliteration.
Yes.
Okay, alliteration, for those of our listeners who don't know, is the repetition of sounds often used in poetry and in metered writing. So, for instance, Wonder Woman would be an example of alliteration. Now, I've burned Wonder Woman because we're not allowed to use the superhero name. Okay? But I would like you to give me, if you can, in 1 minute, 20 examples of alliterative. Oh, it's easy. You can do this. 20 examples of alliterative comic book character names. Do you need an example?
No, Peter Parker.
Okay.
Reed
wait.
Richards.
Oh, wait, he's not ready.
He struggled with the He-Man 5 question.
Yeah,
so.
yeah.
It's 20?
So you're gonna be fine. You're gonna be fine. So we're gonna take a couple seconds off the clock. So just
I didn't
stop.
start
Peter
it.
Parker.
Start
Reed
it.
Richards.
Okay.
Wally West. Sue Storm. Guy Gardner. 20. Jeez.
You've already got 5.
I know. Oh no.
How long does he have?
He's got 1 minute.
Oh.
He's good. He's fine.
No.
He's only at 5.
Yeah, I'm only at 5. No, I can't. Yeah.
Really? Really?
20's a lot.
Cyclops.
Oh yeah, Scott Summers.
There you
Same
go.
thing. I can't. Yeah, I'm not. It's just.
Well, I'm very disappointed. Are you giving up? Richard Rider?
Yeah.
Warren Worthington III?
Oh yeah, that's another one.
J. Jonah Jameson? Ooh, that would have
that's the
counted as
best
an
one.
extra. That's a
Yeah.
bonus.
Yeah.
All right, stop the clock. He's failed.
Yeah.
I gotta say, your play lately has been.
He's been getting stumped.
Yeah, I don't know what's up.
The test is over, Firestar.
Those are tough.
And you failed.
Like I said, he struggled with the Masters of the Universe.
I went
It's
outside.
the timer.
I went
Yeah,
outside and
exactly.
did it like really quick to myself.
Yeah.
So I Peter Parker obviously is the first one.
Yeah,
Bruce
yeah,
Banner.
I was thinking Bruce Banner.
Yeah.
Now I can think of
Matt Murdock.
Matt Murdock. I didn't even think of that one. Wyatt Wingfoot.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, Billy Batson. Yeah, there's Clark Kent. That's alliterative, even though it's not the same letter. Lois Lane.
Doctor Doom.
No, can't be the character's
Silver
name.
Sable.
Doctor Doom.
No. But good attempt. You got 5.
Yeah, that's not.
That's not good at all.
Fans, he's not going to enjoy
No.
a blue peep.
Oh well.
So let's see.
Did you blow it on purpose?
So I just want you to know that if we were scoring this like a test, where 100%, you just scored a 25.
Mm-hmm.
25%. That's not great, dude.
No, it's not.
I'm sorry. No peep for you.
Oh.
Well. Well, we're at that point where
Do you want another emergency question to see if you can try to get it?
No.
he doesn't want to peep.
Do you know what Hiten Mitsurugi translates into?
No.
3 little kittens that lost their hidden Mitsurugis.
No.
All right, guys. This is important now. We're coming up on the hour mark, so we gotta do this here.
Mm-hmm.
And here we go. It's time to conclude our verses.
Oh.
So let's do this. Let's do this. Verses. Magneto, Graviton.
Mm-hmm.
All right, I brought it up. It's a classic. A lot of people have discussed
This
this.
is yours. Eric Lensher versus Franklin Hall.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Franklin Hall.
Mm-hmm.
Scientist.
Yeah.
Brilliant, actually.
Yeah.
It's appeared on Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.
Yeah. He's also nuts.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Was he nuts as a scientist?
Yeah, he was already
Or
a
did this
little.
make
He was
him
already a little disturbed. He had like a weird crush on one of his coworkers.
Extremely ambitious.
Yeah.
Working on a
Unstable.
teleportation device.
Explosion causes his molecules of his body to become fused with gravitons.
Yeah. One of these days, we're gonna have to go down the roster of these insanely intelligent people in the Marvel universe. It just seems like everyone is a ridiculous genius.
He's not that brilliant.
It's pretty brilliant though, working on a teleportation device.
Yeah, but he was part of a team.
Yeah.
It wasn't like him working alone. So
He's no
Okay.
Reed Richards, right?
So let's I would say he's no Bruce Banner, he's no Reed Richards,
Yeah.
he's no Hank Pym.
Maybe not even a Parker.
No, not even a Parker, I don't think. Okay, so he's more of a Kurt Connors. Oh, notice that's an alliterative name.
Yeah, it's easy.
Now, of course,
Now.
you think they start flooding in.
Yeah. So let's hear your thoughts, guys. Since I called it, I want to hear your thoughts. Do we have any Graviton boosters in the house? Does anyone think Graviton?
I'm going to go right to the end and give you my pick,
Go ahead.
and it's Magneto.
Okay.
I think we all choose Magneto.
Before we, because I understand we have an awesome breakdown of the actual powers.
Mm-hmm.
And I actually had a friend who is a professor of mathematics who was going to call in to add a mathematical spin to go with your scientific spin,
Okay.
which would have been really nerdy, but really awesome.
Mm-hmm.
But we'll have him on next time around. I choose Magneto because he's labeled the master of magnetism for a reason.
Mm-hmm.
No, obviously, he is one of the most powerful people on Earth 616 and in the Marvel Universe because he manipulates the magnetic field.
Mm-hmm.
But he's a master of it. He's honed himself and trained himself to the point where, you know, anyone who has magnetic abilities like a Polaris can't touch him. Because he knows his stuff. He's been through a ton. He's fought ridiculously powerful people and come out alive every time. Still alive, still out, still around.
Mm-hmm.
Graviton, which you brought up, he's evil. He is a little crazy. He's had amnesia. He's really messed up. Doesn't have anywhere near the grasp of his power that Magneto has.
Mm-hmm.
But he does wield it with a force that is
Just because
kind of primal.
Yeah, just,
Like
exactly.
it's like wild magic.
It's like he taps into his insane ambitions,
Yeah.
and that lust like propels that power. But I mean, in terms of how Magneto manipulates his abilities, the things he can do with it, and just who he is, he's gonna win because he's gonna know how to beat him. He's smarter than he is.
Smarter.
He's
more
been
logical,
tested
he's
far more.
experienced. Yeah.
He's taken on the same people that Graviton's fight and won.
Mm-hmm.
You know. That's my take on it. That's I mean, it's for me.
The only thing you need to know though is that he can do everything Graviton can do.
Yeah, well,
Right, and that's my
Justin's going to
point.
get into that.
Yeah.
I mean, the way he manipulates the power, it's just like how the way Emma Frost is in control of her abilities and powers. She wields it at such a strong level because she understands it, and she's like even able to help like Iceman understand his powers.
Mm-hmm.
Still, it's that, but even more. It's like Magneto, I think, of the mutants, maybe outside of Xavier, has the most control and understanding of his power, and that makes him extra deadly. Not to mention, his power is to wield the magnetic energy.
And he could be a much larger threat to the entire Marvel Universe than he is, simply because of who he is.
Right.
Because even though he has, some would say, questionable morals and certain ambitions that aren't ideal, he's not evil.
He's
not evil.
The
He's never
Beyonder,
been
the
truly
Beyonder
evil.
places him and the other
In the
mutants in the heroes.
Yeah.
Now,
Because his goal is twisted. Its ends justify the means, but it's altruistic.
Yeah. Now, I believe, I could be wrong on this, that Graviton wields his power stronger than Magneto does.
I would probably
Like the scale
just
of the
okay.
rank
And
of how
I
he does
think
his power.
on his side, that's a plus on his side. He also is, he's more of a, again, this kind of goes back to the heart of the thing here though. If Magneto wanted to do that, he probably could. If Magneto wanted to be the world threat, like,
If he was psychotic.
then he would be.
Graviton, and I
Very
don't
similar
want
to
to. I don't want
Doom.
to steal your thunder because I know you and I agree on this. First of all, you and I, Justin, both mentioned that the gravitational force is nothing compared, strength-wise, to magnetic force. Magnetic force is far stronger.
Right.
Magnetic force is a component of gravitational
itself,
force, and Magneto can do everything Graviton can do, and he can prevent Graviton from doing what Graviton does.
Yeah.
So the real issue is and what this goes to what you were saying, Justin, is that he uses his powers without caring about consequences, whereas Magneto knows that if he creates a singularity, he could destroy the world he's trying to save in quotes.
Yeah, in quotes.
So he's not a tyrant, and he's not a loose cannon the way Graviton is, and that's the only reason that Graviton throws his power around the way he does. He's mentally unhinged.
And that's what we know about Magneto.
But a lot of people, when hearing this question, just assume gravity versus magnetism, and they go, "Oh, Graviton's much more powerful." Yeah. He's actually not. Magneto can do everything Graviton can do, better.
Yeah,
and he's more powerful.
From the science perspective, too, gravity is a function of other components, as you said yourself.
Yeah.
And gravity requires mass in order to even exist.
Yep.
So if this fight were taking place in a vacuum, the only mass that Graviton would have to draw from would be the bodies of himself and Magneto.
Right.
So Magneto wins in a space battle instantly because his electromagnetism can come from anywhere.
And by the way, this is, and I'm happy you use the word electromagnetism, which is what magnetism actually is. It is electromagnetism. Right. Magneto also controls electricity, which they don't really touch on that much, but he can do everything Electro can do. So Magneto is vastly more powerful than has ever really been tapped into, and it's, I think the explanation that we have as we kind of justify the way he's been presented is what we came up with, the moral grounds. But they did do, I don't know if you guys remember, they did Doom versus Magneto. And LTG, this is going to bother you, but Magneto smacks Doom around.
Sure, well, of course.
I mean, just smacks him around.
But then we go back into the Batman thing is...
Oh, agreed.
How long does Doom have to prepare? If Doom says, there's a fight coming and Magneto's coming for me, the situation changes.
He can find a way to turn his own power.
Well, I think what Doom does is he convinces Magneto to let him work with him. That's. But
Doom, you know what I mean.
And then stabs him in the back.
Yeah.
The same thing with Reed Richards. Reed Richards knows Magneto's coming. He's gonna bust out some stuff to prepare.
So really, though, with the possible exception of telepaths, Magneto and maybe Molecule Man,
which he has the helmet for.
Which is Doom's bro, by the way. Not his little bro, but he likes Molecule Man. He likes using him.
Owen Reese. But with the possible exception of those two, I mean, Magneto's pretty much one of the most powerful characters.
Proteus?
That's Moira McTaggart's kid.
Reality warping.
Yeah.
He's pretty scary.
He's no Franklin Richards.
Yeah.
All right. Well,
again, it's kind of the Graviton argument, too, that because Proteus is unhinged and unstable.
And Legion.
His power
which is why I brought up when we did the sidekick, when we were preparing for the sidekick, and we were talking about that IGN bracket, had Power Pack been on that list, Power Pack would take out everyone.
No, because they're not popular
because of Franklin Richards.
Yeah, true.
Yeah, done.
Would Franklin Richards be able to fight with the Avengers team?
No, he's never been.
Dang it! He has been involved in a lot of.
He's a future X-Men.
But he could be manipulated too. I mean, Onslaught did. Used him to his own device.
He's an X-Men. He's an X-Man in the future. In Days of Future Past, he's listed as. Oh, he's not listed as deceased. He's with Rachel, isn't he?
Oh, maybe.
He's with Rachel Summers in the future. So. Anyway,
anything extras?
So there it is.
So we're all pretty much agreed that it's Magneto. I'm sure a lot of people will agree with that as well. My friend who was going to join us also agreed that it was Magneto, based on his calculations. She was going to provide, but because he's a Marvel fan too, and he knows. He brought up the very same things that we did about Magneto.
He consulted the Norn Stones. So, well, I think that's. I think we covered everything. Look at that, we ticked it all off.
But if there's something we missed,
that's the first verses that I think we've actually landed definitively on one.
Yeah.
And if there's something we missed, science nerds and comic nerds out there, please bring it up.
Yeah.
If there's something that we
feel free to
lacked
be
with
told you're
Graviton,
wrong.
Well, prepare to prove yourself. That's all.
Yeah.
And when is Graviton going to come back on Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.?
I don't know. That's actually a really good question.
While for that. They teased him at the end of that.
You saw his hand, right?
Well, no. Again, remember when Garrett and Ward were raiding.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. Hydra has the Graviton.
Tunneled down. They have it.
Yeah. Interesting.
So,
interesting.
where is it? Maybe Strucker has it.
Oh, that's got to be coming soon too. Yeah. Strucker. Yeah. It's all good stuff.
Yep.
I'm excited.
All
I'm
right,
Shieldman.
gents.
So tune in this today, actually, and check out Daredevil on Netflix, and then prepare yourself
Exciting.
for Age of Ultron as it's coming quite
Oh,
soon.
we'll have stuff about
and we'll be back next week.
for P-Train Peterson, MLTG.
Yeah, this was one.
MLTG.
And that's Justin Lane. And Monty's behind Justin Lane.
Yay.
I'm Monty.
Hi. And yeah,
All right.
thanks for joining us. We'll see you next week.
Adios.
Goodbye.
Dub Nation.